Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk to you about She-Hulk, where she does like the 1980s Hulk intro and the part where she talks to the writers and Kevin. I'm okay with both of these. Now, I have not seen the finale. I don't have Disney Plus no more. I think my Disney Plus ended like probably like a week ago, so I saw the Daredevil episode, stuff like that, but I did not see the finale. Also, I have not been keeping up with this show. I have only watched like 3 episodes and like that's it. Because simply fact, and no, I'm not one of those toxic YouTubers. I'm not one of those people that scream like Roke or anything like that, or women empowerment sucks, something like that. I simply just don't like the show. Mainly because, I don't like law drama type shows. I've never been into courtroom drama type stuff unless it was like People's Court and I will watch that. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I've just never been into people in the courtroom type stuff. The only one I've ever liked was Ally McBeal. If the comedy was closer to that, then I would be watching the show. But it's not. And like I said before, because the MCU has brainwashed everybody, I need to know how is this gonna tie in to the overall picture of what the MCU is about and everything. And so that's one of the problems I'm having with a lot of these Disney Plus shows. I'm not sure where they're going. I'm not still 100% sure what Phase 4 is about and stuff. And so that's just like why I'm not into the show. Also, I don't like the comedy in the show. It just doesn't do it for me and everything. Like say last week episode when Daredevil showed up, I already talked about how I felt about Daredevil, but I didn't mention the part where after, She-Hulk and Daredevil revealed their identities to each other, she de-transformed back into Jennifer, and then when they were on the rooftop, for some bizarre reason, she started walking towards him, but in like a dance. And she was just like dancing towards him. And I'm just kind of like, how is that supposed to be funny? Who does that? You know what I'm saying? So this show's just not for me on that type of level. However, I was curious to know what the finale was like. So I went to a couple of YouTubers to see what they had to say. And I had no idea they recreated the 1980 Hulk intro, and I had no idea she broke the fourth wall in a super meta kind of way by breaking open the Disney Plus app and climbing down to like Marvel's Assemble type thing. And and talking to the writers and Kevin technically Feige and everything. Or as I like to call him, Kevin, give me your money, Feige, and stuff. And so as they, I've never truly 100% watched the 1980s Hulk show. I do love the intro to it. Like I remember when I used to watch those older, those like older channels from like a couple of decades ago. They had the Hulk on there, and I loved the intro and stuff. And I probably tried to watch it, but I just didn't really care, so I just like turned to something else. And I also don't know why he didn't call himself Bruce Banner and stuff. But like I love that entire recreation. It was just like awesome and everything. It was perfect, except for one part. The part where she says, "Don't make me angry. You don't want to see me when I'm angry." She says it weird. She stares in an awkward kind of way. That's the only part of that I did not like. But I think that's like really cool how she did that. Also, the Hulk version in that, was it like CGI or was it like a bodybuilder? I couldn't really tell, but it looked great. The fact if it was CGI, that's the best She-Hulk has ever looked. And not only is that the best she ever looked, but my God, they even got like the TV graining perfectly done on that. Like it was just amazing and stuff. And it's kind of like, I wish this wasn't like even if it was to be a comedy, because you know how I feel about Marvel Disney baby humor and stuff. It's okay when they add certain elements of humor. That's okay. That's mature. If it was more based on that 80s style and a little bit of comedy, a little bit of satire, and all this other stuff they were putting in the show, then I probably would have been more interested. That and if she was a hero. The fact that she's not even acting like a superhero just kind of bugs me. And so that's one reason why I don't watch. But I literally must be the only person coming up to the next part I'm about to talk about that likes this and everything. Because every person I've ever seen on YouTube seems to not like the ultra meta part at the end. Like, I haven't went to no toxic people YouTube channel, so I already know what they're gonna say. But I went to people who are actually nice and actually like the show and everything. Like, these are people who really, really, really like the show, and they did not like this part. They said it was too over the top and everything. Now, there was one group of people I watched. They say they're not toxic and they hate being like, grouped in with the toxic people. I don't know. Every once in a while, has this dude ever heard the way he speaks? Like, I've been wondering and stuff. But anyway, nobody seemed to like this part. I actually love it. I think it's funny. Because look, I mean, come on now, people. It's what she does in the comics. How can you not love that? I mean, she's not gonna rip the screen off and there's gonna be like a white panel like wall behind her because she's not in a comic. So she has to do something different in a more modern set because this isn't a comic book, it's a TV show. So of course she breaks through the app and goes talk to the writers and stuff. And the dialogue, like the people have knowledge. Jen, cause see what happened was there was a bar fight with the Abomination, and then Bruce, as Hulk shows up for like no reason and starts fighting. By the way, the Hulk looks smaller for some reason, and so all of a sudden she's just like, you know what, this ain't working and everything, and so she breaks the fourth wall, she breaks the menu, and she goes talk to the writers. Now everybody in that room are real writers, except for two people that are like actors and stuff. And then she goes and talk to Kevin. Give me your money, Feige, but he's just a giant robotic drone and everything. And how did people not find this funny? Yeah, it's ultra meta. It's a little too meta, but it's been done before and people have laughed and giggled, but they didn't laugh and giggle when it's done in this show for some bizarre reason. And it's like the writers knew that, what they created people weren't gonna like. All right, they know these toxic YouTube channels. They knew the moment the show was even gonna be before air, they knew they was gonna get attacked, and they did. And cause look what just happened with Miss Marvel. Like, people just attacked the crap out of that only because she's female and only because she's Muslim. And so of course there was a huge people backing that show, some genuine and some fake. Those that are fake are the bleeding hearts and everything. And they defended the crap out of Miss Marvel and stuff. And so they did the same thing with She-Hulk because it's been getting a lot of negative heat and stuff like that. And so, like, people review bombing it before it even comes out. And so they know that and everything. So they wanted to address that. They know that there are some things that are bad in their show that they write, like terrible writing and stuff. And they acknowledge that they did that on, like, purpose and stuff. And it's Jennifer Walters being like, why would you do this? This isn't funny. Blah, 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 and stuff like that. Like, she's addressing you people who attack this show and everything, trying to almost like defend y'all in the right by saying, look, this just right here, this does not work and everything. And it's even more meta when she talks to Kevin Feige, who's like a robot and everything, who technically oversees everything. And, like, there are things he doesn't want her to do in the show. There are certain things, and it's kind of like, it's kind of like that South Park episode when they made fun of Family Guy, where they say the people who write the shows are a bunch of like seals and a bunch of like balloon balls or something like that, and they just select one category, a ball, in another category, and they just mix those together. And people love when South Park did that. So I don't understand why y'all can't like this, because y'all have basically said Marvel has a formula, Marvel is sticking to that formula, and Marvel needs to change, but Marvel's not going to change because it's literally controlled by an AI system and everything. And so I just think that's extremely funny and stuff. I mean, as well as I do, if it was Deadpool doing this the same exact thing. Literally, if it was Deadpool doing scene by scene of what Jennifer just did, talking to the writers, talking to Kevin Feige, y'all would have been like jizzing in your pants. Y'all would have been exploding in your underwear. You know, you would have loved it and everything. But the fact is, nobody liked it when she did it, because now all the negativity from them toxic YouTube channels have kind of bleeded into your brain and have brainwashing you thinking, okay, now I see what they're talking about. Why are they giving them fuel for ammunition and everything? You know, so your mind has been like warped now and thinking, oh, this is just like terrible and everything. But you gotta admit, it was pretty off the wall. It was pretty different. It was pretty comic books accurate, and it was pretty funny. And you know as well as I do, if it was Deadpool, you would have loved it. In fact, Deadpool, I think, even did this twice in both his movies, I believe. I believe he revealed the people, like, you know, the writers and the directors and the camera people. And then, of course, what happened? He went back in time and shot his younger self from appearing in Wolverine origin movie. And so, like, honestly, if this was Deadpool, you would have been jumping for joy. If he just would have appeared and said something off on camera, you would have been jumping for joy and everything. And, you know, and I will admit, this scene does really do take you out the entire focus of the show. I do admit that, like, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause the show has been pretty straightforward in its goofy break the fourth wall way, but never like this. But that's how the comic books are. Like, she will literally do that in the comics. Everything be going smoothly, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, I say smoothly, smoothly. And so all of a sudden she'll get pissed about like something in the comics, and it's because of the writer's fault, and she'll just be jumping off the panels and everything, or she'll rip the entire like page off and it's like a white background, a white space and everything, and she will like let them have it. Like, that's who she is. Now I think if they would have played it where she's more angry and everything and screaming at the writers, then that probably been more effective, but she didn't do that. She was just her cutesy little goofy self and everything. And, you know, that's really all I have to say about this video. Like I said before, I have not seen the finale. I don't watch the show. The jokes don't land for me. The CGI is kind of you know what I'm saying? And I don't get it. Like, I literally just heard, like, who is the real true villain? And most people still to this day don't know. And that's kind of how Miss Marvel was. Like, who was really the villain? And in the same way with WandaVision. I like WandaVision, but, like, who was really the villain? And then when you find out and you think you know who the villain is, technically the real villain was the hero of the show. And it's, of course, that Marvel formula and everything. So, yeah. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.